Hello and welcome to the Video Game Town Hall podcast. I'm your host, Jared Russo, the mayor of Video Game Town, and just by listening, you are a listener of podcasts. I don't remember how the intro goes. That's fine. I'm here with one of my best friends.
Council.
Whatever. It's always different every time because it's a bit. I'm here with one of my best friends in the whole universe, Dr. Darren Lewis. How are you doing?
Oh, you threw the doctor in again. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
We are here today to discuss a few things, but I am so happy to say that this is not the first, but the second time this week you were listening to this that we've had some IRL, in-person, live reporting, service journalism. On the boots on the ground, like they say at Call of Duty conventions. Back to basics. You went to PAX.
I did.
So I was not fully aware of this. Maybe it was in the back of my mind. Maybe
we definitely told you. Like 100% we told you.
I was busy. I was traveling. I had just been to Seattle and I completely forgot. That's fine. But you replaced me in Seattle with former podcast guest and our other mutual friend, James Rigby. He lives in Seattle. You both went to PAX. I don't know what the numbers were, but I'm assuming there were thousands upon thousands of people.
Oh, yeah. Way more than I thought. It was like, okay, so like, as you mentioned, I am a physician. And, you know, sometimes you go to like doctors' conferences where you learn about new like medications and diagnosis and stuff like that. So I don't know why, but in my head, that's how many people I thought would go, which is like, you know, there's a proper couple thousand. No, this was a lot of people, like probably more people than I've seen outside of a sporting event in a very long time.
Over 100,000 people.
Yeah. Okay. that even that number sounds big, but then I'm like, no, I believe that.
Yeah, it's the same thing when I went to New York Comic Con, but I would imagine PAX is better because New York Comic Con like has kind of been getting worse and worse year after year. Like fewer companies go and there are fewer booths and there's fewer or less interesting things and there's not as many game demos and it's like once you've been, you're kind of like, okay, I've got my fill of buying overpriced merch and seeing all these losers walk around. But with PAX, you got to play games.
I did, and to be honest with you, the games that I thought would be at PAX was like just indies, which is not a problem at all. I think there were a lot of cool indie games there as well. But I wasn't expecting like big companies to bring their games, like Nintendo, Capcom, a lot of Namco Bandai. Like it was just like I was like, whoa, these are like real game demos.
2K Games brought Borderlands 4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Borderlands, of course. How could I not talk about Borderlands and their lovely... So Borderlands had like a rage room. You know what a rage room is?
I don't, but I kept hearing about this rage room.
Oh, my... Because it was so annoying. So a rage room...
That's what I heard.
This is like not a gamer thing. This is like a normal thing where it's like basically you go to this place that has a rage room and they just have a whole bunch of junk like TVs, tables, a whole bunch of junk, and they give you a hammer and you pay money and you just smash things for like a set period of time. So right next to the Borderlands like setup where all the games are, they had a rage room. So every like 5 minutes you just hear like a whole bunch of yelling and banging, and it was so annoying.
That sounds terrible because I've been to conventions and they're typically like loud enough. You don't really need like more noise.
Right. No, it was pretty bad.
But did you did not play Borderlands 4?
So, okay, so there's a funny story with that, right?
I mean, I don't care what you played. I just want to know.
No. It's so basically like you said, we were with a former co-host James Rigby. Basically, we were like, oh, you know, why don't we get in line to play some games, blah, blah, blah. And I have to describe that whole experience because I have thoughts. But basically, when it came to Borderlands 4, we were like in line and then we were like, wait a second. Like, we don't need to play Borderlands 4. Like, we know what Borderlands is. Like, we are A-okay with just diving in. So we watched a couple people play it and like we saw it on the Switch too and stuff like that. But for us to get hands on the sticks, I was like, that's not really
it's
worth
coming out
our
soon.
Time. Yeah, and it's coming out like what, next week?
Yeah. No, in a few days.
Yeah, okay, even more.
I
So.
mean, from when you played it at PAX, yes, and it was like 2 weeks or
right,
whatever.
right.
All right. Listen. Almost every single demo I've ever played at a convention, like playing demos at a convention is the worst way to play a game.
Oh,
like,
don't get me started.
Yeah, it's not great. The only time was when I think they had Street Fighter V at Comic-Con, and like I could get in line a couple times and like kind of like actually like get into it. Otherwise, you're just playing and you're like, I don't know when this ends. Like, should I leave? Like, you don't really remember it. It like doesn't like it doesn't. You're not really like playing it. It's weird to say because like when you actually play the game when it releases, you're like, oh, this is like somehow different than the demo I played. Like, it's very odd.
Actually, I think my experience was a bit different from yours. If I can go into it here. So basically, they have all of the games basically in like a separate hall, called the Arch, which is like apparently where PAX West started, and then it branched out into another building that they call the Summit. But the Arch is like, it has the hall with all the games, which, funny enough, it's in the Seattle Convention Center, which, remember, I was just telling you about those doctor conferences. I had a conference at the Seattle Convention Center, so it was like really weird to see the same space, but like all decked out with video games. But yeah, so how the demos worked, and it's so weird. So basically, you have a line, and everyone's like rushing to the line, and then only a certain amount of people can get to the line, and then when that is full, they say the line is closed. You can't wait around for the line to open again because you're blocking traffic. So essentially what you have to do is kind of like act like you're not waiting around, but low-key wait around. And let me tell you, these lines fill up fast. And then they'll say like, oh, and then from this point, it's a 2-hour wait. And I'm like, 2-hour wait? The line's not that long. Why is it a 2-hour wait? Turns out all of these demos are like 20 to 30-minute demos. And I'm like,
That's
what?
Insane. That's nuts.
What I realized, listening to, again, some other podcasts and stuff, is that this was essentially what the press got to play. Now, the press got like, VIP line access, but that's what they got to play. And so it was kind of cool to play like what essentially was a press build of a game. Like it was literally the same build, same experience. The only difference is they didn't have to wait, a long time in line. So the first day we went, we kind of saw the line, saw how hard it was to get in the line. And then we're like, oh, well, why don't we just come back first thing in the morning the next day so we can almost guarantee we'll get into the line. And
you and everyone else.
And even then, we didn't get into the initial line, but I was like, all right, you know what? I have a plan. I'm going to sit somewhere near the end of this line. And they're like, oh, you can't block the way. And I'm like, oh, but I just want to watch the game. Can I watch the game? And they're like, oh, well, yeah, you can watch the game as long as you're not just waiting for the line. I'm like, no, I really care about Kirby. And I just struck up a conversation with one of the Nintendo people. All of them were super nice. These Nintendo staff members were trained to be super nice. And these were like, because like PAX had their own staff members, but these were like Nintendo specific, apparently, staff members. Funny enough, James wore a Nintendo shirt that day. And so all of them were like, oh, you're one of us, right? Like you should be working. And so that was like a good conversation opener. But yeah, so essentially I was chatting, watching, and then as soon as I saw someone move in the line, I just jumped right in and then grabbed James. And then we got into the line. And I was like, all right, cool. But that was mainly to play Kirby. But the whole point I'm trying to say is that like it's chaos because it's not even about the amount of positions they have open. It is just how many physical people can fit in this line. If you took a bunch of children, you would get more children in line than if you took a bunch of like overweight adults. And that makes no sense to my brain logistically. It's like, why not just have the exact number of people for stations? But apparently this is how they do demos. And I'm like, oh, and it wasn't just because a lot of what I'm speaking about is the Kirby Air Riders line, but all the other lines there were very similar. It showed the last spot you could get in. And if people were up to that spot, then you just had to wait until you saw a gap open up and jump in the line, which I think is the weirdest way to do it.
It sounds really dumb. I'm not a fan of whatever the hell is going. Like it's too many people, too long of a demo time. Like press should be getting access somewhere else so that you divide what they're playing from what like. We could go on tangents and rants.
And that was the controversy with the Silk Song thing is that Nintendo only brought literally one station for Silk Song, and it was handheld. You could only play it handheld. Dumb. And so
that's a whole Team Cherry, like 4 people work at Team Cherry.
Right. So they
don't give a fuck.
But what was wild about it? What was wild about it is the line. It wasn't like there was like, oh, this is the line for Silk Song. No, it was the line to get into the general station where there's a bunch of Nintendo Switch games. So basically you could wait in line 2-3 hours to play Silk Song and then not get to play Silk Song. It wasn't guaranteed. And apparently, that was also the only one that press could use. So if you were there at the same time a press showed up, guess what? You're not playing Silk Song because the press gets priority. Which it's their job. They should get priority. But it's just like, be a little more transparent with that. Like, it was really weird how no one was really describing like, hey, yeah, there's only one Silk Song station and this is how you get to it. And there's a solid chance you won't get to it.
This is like
because Nintendo was advertising.
Makers.
They were advertising.
This is like console makers when they like, oh, every 5, 6, 7 years, oh, scalpers, but they don't give a fuck because they're getting, like these decision makers, the convention people, the companies, none of them care because this is not an issue that comes up very often, and it's just stupid and scattershot. Anywho, Silk Song is out. I've been playing it. Everyone who wanted to play it at PAX is playing it now.
Yeah,
and Kirby Air Riders.
I think that's what made that softened that blow. But yeah, what would you like to know about Kirby Air Riders?
Is it still bad?
Oh boy. I did hear that take. I heard that take. I forget which episode it was. And I was like, oh, wait till I'm on this episode to just freaking roast your ass. Because
you have 15 seconds, go.
Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube is the perfect example of you don't have to have complex this, that, and the other. You just have to have a game that is fun. Kirby Air Ride is a fun game. It's not overly complicated. It is just fun.
Too simplistic.
And that's okay. It's okay. If you think about Smash Brothers, when Smash first came out on the N64, people were like, how are you going to have a fighting game that doesn't have these crazy combos and blah, blah, blah? And now it's the #1 fighting game in the world. It's okay to be simplistic.
Having to watch gameplay footage of the second one, and it just like brings me back to like me and my brother playing, and I'm like, I don't remember the maps, I don't remember like the vehicles, I don't remember anything because like it's so nothing, like it's so just like empty, it's just devoid. No. Like, but you played this new one. Does it have things?
Yeah, actually, it was funny. One of my big I don't want to even say criticisms, but one of my hesitations going into this new one was like, so the whole thing with Kirby's Air Ride is it literally uses one button. It's the stick to turn and then a button, which is to like do that charge, slide, boost thing. And
it doesn't feel good.
Kirby, again, these are it's just a bad take, Jared. Like it's like
there are better racing games.
I could understand, but that's the beauty of it. It's not just a racing game. Because first of all, the best mode in that game, and everyone knows it, is the city trial mode. It's not necessarily.
Even I know that.
It's not necessarily the racing mode, and that's okay. It's allowed to be that. And even in the Nintendo Direct, right? There, like Sakurai was like, "Oh, isn't this game just like Mario Kart?" No, not really. And you see why, and it's like, okay, this definitely ain't like Mario Kart. But okay, I'll actually talk about the game now. I will stop ranting about your horrible takes. Oh, one more thing about your horrible take.
Oh, Christ!
So allegedly the Dolphin emulator. Yes. So the Dolphin emulator can play games online. You bet your sweet ass that me and my brothers literally last week fired up Dolphin and we all played Kirby's Air Ride. That was the first time my youngest brother had played it because he's like a lot younger than me. And we had a blast. That game is still so much fun. So on to the new one.
Listen, getting plastered and hitting each other with fluorescent light bulbs is also fun.
We weren't drinking.
All right.
We were perfectly sober, and it was still tons of fun.
Well, you can't give alcohol to a kindergartner. No, I understand. All right, so you played Kirby Air Riders.
Wait, well, hold on. Audience, for reference, my brother is not a kindergartner. I just want to make sure I'm not giving alcohol to minors.
He's a grown adult, but I just remember him as being in kindergarten. I can't not
right
think of him that way.
Okay, so
you played Kirby Air Riders. How was it?
Yes, it was amazing. I walked out of that demo smiling ear to ear. I remember turning to James and I was like, that was awesome. And he was, and his vibe was exactly, we were at the same level. He looks at me, he's like, no, that was amazing. I want to play more. And we're both like, okay, that was awesome. So, big things about Kirby Air Riders. So I don't know why I'm sitting here assuming everyone watched the direct. So I'm going to give like a mini breakdown of what the demo was. So the demo was the city trial mode, which, if anyone's never played Kirby Air Riders, City Trial is essentially you have a map. Like, it's not a linear race course. It's just I don't want to say open world, but it's just like a big map. And the whole point of City Trial is you go around the map getting power-ups to make your machine, your little star thing, faster. And you can switch out star things. You can get, top speed versus increased turning versus better boost. And so you're just building this machine so that at the end of the time limit, you play a random event. It could be a race. It could be how high can you fly? How, it's all these different things. And so the fun of it is every time you play, it's going to be a different event. So every time you play, you're going to want to spec your machine slightly different. But a lot of times you don't know what you're speccing for. So you're just like, oh man, I really hope I built a super fast machine. It breaks really easily, but it's super fast. So I hope I get, a dash, a drag race one. And then it turns out it's a combat one. And you're like, oh crap, I'm screwed. And that's the fun of it. It really
doesn't sound fun at all, but all right.
And this is a really niche reference, so I doubt anyone's going to get this. But if anyone's ever played Smash Rush on the DS version of Smash Brothers, they had a mode called They had a mode called Smash Rush, and it was very inspired by this mode. So if you understand how that mode works, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Okay. So going into Air Riders, it was the city trial mode, which in this game, in the old game, it used to be just 4 people on a map. Now it's 16. There are 16 people in this map. We didn't play with 16 live players. We played with 4 live players and then 12 bots. And so I skipped a part. When you start, they started you off with actually a tutorial. They wanted to make sure everyone knew how to play the game, which again really cemented that, like, oh yeah, this is the press demo. Like, they ran you through the same script. So those little demos, I'm like, okay, here's how you play Kirby Air Riders, and here's how you dash, here's how you fly, here's how you use your special. Which, coming to the other point, where this game, instead of being a 1-button game, it's a 2-button game. And the other button is the special button, which, you build up a meter like a Final Smash or something like that, and then you do a super move. In the original Kirby Air Ride, it was 1 character, Kirby, and then you unlocked like 2 other characters. In this game, there are a bunch of characters. I think in the demo there was like 12 different characters, and then all the characters can get different copy abilities, but all the characters also have different specials. So that's like already they're like making the game a little bit more complex, not too complex, but just they're adding more variety. Cool. Love it. So I tried 2 different characters. I know you've been playing a lot of Kirby recently, Jared, which I also want to talk to you about. But so these characters. Does a Meta Knight ring a bell?
Yeah, he's banned in most brawl tournaments.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Now, here's a deep cut for you. The second character I picked was a character called Gooey. Do you know who Gooey is?
Is he the companion in Dreamland 3 where he can
that looks like
on?
Yes. Okay, so you
are
paying attention. Okay, good. I'm proud. Yeah. When I heard you were playing all the Kirby games, I was so proud of you because I was gonna play all the Kirby games, and then I was like, look, Darren, you don't have time for that. So, but I'm proud of you for going through that. So I played Meta Knight.
I love that Kirby Air Riders. The upgrades are like watching a baby take its first steps, you're like, wow, you went from 3 characters to 12. Oh, good job, Kirby Air Riders. Like,
but, again, you start with a basic formula and then you grow it. Remember, I don't even know if we said this. This game is made by Masahiro Sakurai, the guy who made Smash. So if you think about Smash 1, right? That game had 12 characters. Then Melee had what? Like 40 something? I forget how many.
No, it doubled. It went to like 24.
No, it was definitely more than 24.
No, Melee?
Look it up right now. But
characters, Melee.
So the idea is that the first one was there and now it's growing, and I think that's perfectly fine. We don't need these complex, full-fledged Mario Kart. You got to do the wheels and you got to do. No, we don't need all that.
It's 25 characters. In
Man,
Melee.
really? Just 20? It felt like it was so much more. Huh.
No.
Okay. Anyway, so I played Meta Knight and I played Gooey. Those were the 2 characters I played. The city trial run was 5 minutes. Compared to the normal air ride, it was really freaking fast. And what I mean is, like, the speed of the game, the vehicle movement of the game was so noticeably faster than the original air ride. And then if you want to compare it to something like Mario Kart, way faster than Mario Kart. Almost, and it was funny because I listened to other people's impression of it. I didn't feel this way because I got I'm used to Kirby Air Ride, but people who I can tell never played Kirby Air Ride before was saying, like, okay, it's almost like too fast. Like, there's too much going on. There's all these colors and things flying by, and that's what I was saying. I'm like, but if you played F-Zero, this is like F-Zero speed, I would say. By the time you power up your machine at the end, you are probably F-Zero speed. And that's like fun. It's like it felt like this controlled chaos. It felt like, man, I am zooming through the plays. I'm hitting random things, but I kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm also slightly out of control. And it was just so much fun. The powers were kind of interesting. I noticed, like, I found myself running into other players more, probably because there's 16 players. And, like, you get the opportunity to, like, take out their machine. So they have to, like, find a different machine and almost start over. While you're on the map, different events are happening, like, oh, snap, giant meteors are falling, or, oh, there's a secret tunnel that you can get some power-ups if you go find it first, and like stuff like that. A really cool.
That seems interesting.
Yeah.
Dynamic events. Okay.
Okay. Just so we're clear, the original had that too. So there you go. What's cool is something the original didn't have was portals. They have almost like the new Sonic Cross Racing, whatever the hell it's called, or like Ratchet and Clank. What's the last one called?
Into the Nexus. Rift Apart.
Rift Apart. Yeah, where he like throws a portal and like takes you to a completely. They have portals that take you to completely different parts of the map, and it's really trippy how well it works. And it's like
Lego Racers. Or Lego Racers.
Oh, I never played that.
Oh man, that was great.
But yeah,
so it sounds like Mario Kart World, where it's just more, bigger, like they expanded upon the original game, in all the ways that you would imagine. It wasn't like they put in like a card battle system.
The only reason why I strongly disagree with your Mario Kart World comparison is because pretty much anyone who played Mario Kart 8 going into Mario Kart World feels like Mario Kart World did not have the content. It had new ideas, but it didn't have the content. Yeah. This feels like it has the content and the ideas.
Okay.
So,
well, hey, I love the shit on Mario Kart World. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, it was like more playable characters. It was like, bigger. The tracks are bigger. There's more players on the courses, like that kind of bigger. Not like we put in.
I don't know. This
DLC
feels like,
tracks.
and this might be a bias. Although I love Mario Kart, so I can't even say it's that big of a bias. But it really feels like there is more purpose with the changes they made from Kirby Air Ride to Air Riders versus Mario Kart 8 to Mario Kart World. It felt like there's like, okay, you're not just doing this to put in new things. You're doing this because it literally levels up the gameplay. Mario Kart World, a lot of it feels like they're just putting it in just to have something different, not because it actually enhances the gameplay.
Yeah. I would not be shocked if Kirby Air Riders is a much, much better game than Mario Kart World.
Oh, and you heard the controversy with that, right?
What?
It's $70. It's not $80. It's $70.
Well, yeah, because they're not going to sell 50 million copies of this.
I don't know.
I mean, that's
I will say it
no.
was the most packed line at PAX, but then you have to think about the type of people that go to PAX. But at the same time, I think this game will sell very well. They just need to market it well. Like right around.
I mean, Kirby does well. Kirby sells. I'm just saying that this could be fine or good or great. I'm just saying the original is like a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
No.
And everyone has like nostalgia goggles strapped to their face, and they're like, "Oh, when I was a child," it's like everything was better when you were a child. It doesn't hold up.
It's okay. It's definitely not a 6.5. That's wild. If you said 7.5 to 8, I would take it because yes, it's a very unique concept and it's fun, but there could be more, right? And I think that's what this game is doing. I think they're having the more. And so
having the one button like made everything worse. Like you can't tie everything to one button.
With you. I very much I like that is what makes that game so amazing is that it's like, yeah, this is you could literally give it to your 4-year-old brother and they could have a great time. You could give it to someone who knows all the metas and they'll have a great time. Like it was just such a simplistic, like just have fun game. We don't have enough
in front of a
games.
4-year-old.
We don't have enough games that are just have fun. Don't worry about metas. Don't worry about, complex, whatever. Just go have fun. We don't have enough
pick up and play
like
fun
that.
we need that.
That's
I'm just saying that, like,
that's what Kirby Air Ride is. I
it
do
came out
worry.
during, like,
I
Need for
do
Speed
worry.
Underground and Burnout.
I do worry about Air Riders, the pick up and play, only because I think it might be a hair too fast to pick up and play. I do think it is coming at you real fast.
Interesting. Did you play anything else at PAX?
Technically, no. We did not play anything else. However, we did wait in line at a couple different things and then ultimately decide like, okay, this is going to be like another 2 hours of standing here. So let's just kind of watch. And the thing is when it came to new things at PAX, there wasn't that many new things because with the Switch, the only new thing at the Switch was Kirby Air Riders, which we played, and Borderlands 4 and Silksong, but the chances of Silksong was slim.
I think Metroid.
No, Metroid was not there. If Metroid was there, I would have waited for that. I don't care how long. I would have waited for it.
That's not a good sign, Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm getting real nervous about Metroid.
A great sign.
I'm getting real nervous, man. And the worst part about it is I am so in the mood to play a Metroid Prime. I am ready. I am like, that is going to scratch the perfect itch. And if it doesn't come out this year, I'm going to be actually upset.
Yeah, I would like a Metroid.
But I'm really starting to believe it's not going to.
But any games that you didn't play but you watched that were intriguing to you?
Yeah, I out of the corner of like a line watched a little bit of Onimusha at the Capcom booth cuz Capcom brought Resident Evil 9, but Resident Evil 9 was like behind closed doors. It was weird. You like waited in line to go into like this box. And that line apparently was ridiculously long because that demo is like 45 minutes or something like that. And so you are like waiting for a long time. I saw Onimusha and that actually looked pretty cool. I saw a little bit of Pragmata, but it was like the same thing that everyone else was posting, so it wasn't like anything unique. I watched because all that controversy of Elden Ring in handheld or Elden Ring on the Switch. So I watched it not in handheld and it looked fine. I watched someone play handheld and there was some noticeable like, oh, that's not good. Borderlands 4 on the Switch. Some people's ran smooth and then like there was just one station where it was framey as hell. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that one's just messed up or they're at just like a weird part. James and I were trying to figure it out. We never did. But what else I saw a bunch of really cool indie games. I'm sorry, what?
I want to know who the hell is buying like big AAA third-party games on the Switch or Switch 2.
Oh, several people.
Aren't the normies into PC gaming now?
What are you talking about?
Why would people buy Elden Ring or Doom or Mortal Kombat or any of these games on Switch? Because they run terribly. Why would they do that?
Because they're teenagers whose mom and dad bought them a Switch when they were like younger. And so that's what they have. And so that's what they play.
No, the normies are into PC gaming. Everyone's playing PC games.
The normies are definitely
consoles.
Not into PC gaming. The normies are moving towards PC gaming. but I don't think it's entirely there yet. The normies are playing Roblox on iPads and iPhones. That's what the normies are doing. Hate to tell you.
Anyways, you saw some cool indies. Anything that stood out to you?
Nothing. So I will also say most of these indie titles I had never heard of before. They're all like different ideas. Like one was like you're a gorilla and just running around like throwing things like barrels and stuff. I don't know what the name of that one was, but I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Ape Out? That came out years ago.
No, not Ape Out. I don't remember what it was called. Rivals of Aether was there actually. I know that game because I have it. What other indies? I feel like there was one I'm forgetting about. A lot of first-person shooter with like neon, almost like John Wick looking effects. I feel like I saw 3 of those.
I like boomer shooters.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out what exactly was a boomer shooter, and then I was like, oh fuck, I might be a boomer.
It's like what people would call Doom clones. Like it's literally just like old school, like Quake. Like that's it. That's all it is.
But like some would argue that Halo's a boomer shooter, and I'm like, I don't. It kind of is, but it also kind of isn't.
No, I don't think that's what like the term is referring to. Like they're referring to like Warhammer Boltgun and like Proteus and like Hexen and stuff like that. Like that's what they're kind of referring to.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about a game that you did mention that was behind closed doors. Resident Evil 9. You, James, and I are humongous Resident Evil fans, despite the fact that 2 out of 3, the 2 out of the 3 of us are scaredy cats. Not me.
Did you? I don't know if you realize this. Do you know that I'm a Resident Evil fan because of you? Because at some sleepover when we were younger, you showed me Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world when you just jumped on the El Gigante's back and was like tapping the button to knife it. Like that was the coolest thing. And I was like, oh no, I want to mess with this. So then I got Resident Evil 4, and then I was like, oh wait, this is a horror genre. This is horror. Whoops, I hate horror. Okay, well, I'm still gonna play them. But it's like
the least scary of the Resident Evils to that point.
No, Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5, the least scary.
Well, to that point. Like when 4 came out, it was the least.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a Resident Evil person because I rented the first one on GameCube from Blockbuster, and it was really scary, but I also was like, oh, like, I don't get this. And I returned it. So when all the magazines and websites kept giving 10 out of 10s to RE4, I was like, all right, let me try. And that's what got me hooked. But so you and James are scaredy cats. We always play these games together. We're going to get together and play RE9. How much of the gameplay footage have you seen?
Yeah, unlike James, I've actually seen a lot of it. And I don't think I've watched a full playthrough of the demo. I've just watched like highlights of the demo. Yeah, that game looks really scary. It definitely, when you play it in first person mode, it feels way closer to RE7 than RE8. And RE7, in my opinion, was way scarier than RE8. RE8 had its moments, but RE7, RE7 is probably the first video game I played where I literally was like walking into the house, what do they call it in that game? The swamp house. There's a word for it that I'm not thinking of.
But anyways, the outhouse?
No,
that's like bad.
When you walk into like what the main house is, you like first walk in. I legitimately was paralyzed. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I put the controller down. Like, I can't do this. I handed it to James, and James had to do that.
Oh man!
Like, I freaked out. I was like, I've never done that before. But to be honest with you, it's the first person thing. First person horror, I just cannot do. But as you know, I've played games like Dead Space perfectly fine. Well, not perfectly fine. The game is scary, but I don't like freak out as much. Something about it being first person messes with me, which is why I am petitioning hardcore that when we play RE9, we play it in third person.
Absolutely not.
We need to.
Or maybe, I don't know, because there's like a director or developer's like perspective option where it's like it chooses like based on what, so it'll transition it. It's like the game will tell you like, we think this area might be better for this one, and it'll just sort of auto do it. But they make it harder in third person because you can see around corners, so they make your character trip more.
Trip and stuff.
So like
that. I think that's cool.
They compensate. That is cool. But I was so excited to hear that, like, you would go into rooms and sometimes you turn on the light and the bulb would break and it would be like, ha, screw you, player, like, you're in the dark still. And I always wanted a game to, like, make the safe room, like, secretly unsafe, like someone attacks you in the safe room while you're saving. I've always wanted that to happen because that would probably be the greatest troll moment in game design history.
Do that in one of them? I thought in RE3, one of them that could happen.
No.
Like, Nemesis could get into the area a safe room was. When
I think that might have been a glitch or something. I don't think that was real. I think the closest anything I ever got is like when you're in an elevator in one of the Dead Space games.
Dead Space.
Like,
oh my god, I still remember that vividly. Oh my god, did that get me?
But like, you can tell that like they're clearly holding back because they're like, okay, everyone loves House Benevito and everyone loves these certain sections in 7, so we'll just have this demo be this Grace Ashcroft from the Outbreak series or the Revelation series. I don't know, she's canon. And, like, her mom turns into a monster and chases you around. Ooh, spooky.
So they haven't confirmed that the mom turned into the monster. They have not confirmed that. It's heavily hinted. But I think that it's the mom who was a character in Outbreak.
Oh, okay. But you can tell they're like what is this game really? Like, are they going to have two protagonists, or it's like one is action and one is I'm a little girl with a lantern. Ooh.
I think they're going to have two protagonists. I think it's going to be closer to, if these are just guesses and slight, I heard some rumors, but I think it's going to be two protagonists. I think it's mainly going to be I'm sorry, you already said Grace, that's her name. It's mainly going to be Grace, but I do think there's going to be segments where you play as Leon. I do think they're bringing back Leon. I'm pretty sure.
4 was Leon and sometimes Ashley, and then 8 was mostly Ethan and sometimes Chris. So, like, they've done that before.
Right, and I think that's kind of the feel they're going to go for. Because if you remember Resident Evil 6, that's where they're like, oh, we're going to let everyone have their cake and eat it too, and have one campaign that's going to be really horror, one campaign that's going to be more action, and then one campaign where you can punch zombies for some reason.
Yeah, how did that work out for them?
Exactly, and I think that's why they're not going to quite
but...
right. I think it was like their best selling one until either 7 or 8, I forget. But yeah, I don't think they're going to make that mistake again, which is why I think if they do put in Leon, which I'm almost pretty sure they will, it's going to be more of what they did in 8, where it was like just a short segment.
It would be so great if the word did not leak, and people who got the game to review it didn't leak it, and people just playing the game halfway through, you just get to play as Leon, kind of like an MGS2, like, actually, it's Raiden's game. You know, like, it just, like, pulls the rug from underneath you, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's Leon!
Well, there are some theories that people are like, oh, I bet Capcom is the one who started that quote-unquote leak that Leon was going to be in it, because they think they're going to, like, because there's a lot of evidence to say it's not Leon as well. So that's why they're leaving it up in the air intentionally. But yeah, I mean, it will be weird having someone like Leon and having it not just be like an all out like RE4 action section, because that's just how Leon rolls.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
Leon, help me. Help me, Leon.
God, Resident Evil 4. What a perfect freaking game.
I know. Well,
and then the remake was also a perfect freaking game. I love the remake.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
all right, final topic. You've been playing Hollow Knight, and I've been playing Hollow Knight Silksong. So we're going to combine our Hollow Knight play sessions into one convo. How are you liking Hollow Knight?
So, and before anyone boos me, the whole reason I watched what Team Cherry did to their fans for 7 years in complete just teasing, and I was like, I am not going to play Hollow Knight out of spite, because I don't like what they're doing here. And now that they officially released it, I was like, okay, now it's time to play Hollow Knight, because several people told me I would love Hollow Knight. I like Metroidvanias. I really like the grayscale black and whites. I love like fun movement, and everyone kept telling me it was a Souls-like. So fire up the game, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. I will say my biggest gripe, and this is possibly because of how people kept describing it to me, because everyone kept saying it's a Metroidvania Souls-like. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So it's going to be combat heavy, because the Metroidvanias I play, like Castlevania and Metroid, those are combat heavy, not platforming heavy. Hollow Knight is a platforming game. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. There are several jumping puzzles, and you need to be like ready for it. And can I get through platforming games? Absolutely. I think I have the ability to get through a platforming game. I'm not like one of those people who's like, oh, I can't do it. Do I enjoy it?
When they have Italian plumbers.
Yeah, when they have Italian plumbers. When do I enjoy it? It's not my favorite genre. So I will say that was a little bit of a disappointment because I don't think the combat in Hollow Knight, and mind you, I'm only like 10, 12 hours in, so I don't have all the combat abilities. I know there's sword arts, but the sword arts seem kind of, I don't know, they seem kind of useless. But yeah, so the combat was a little bit of a disappointment, and then how platforming focus was a little bit of disappointment. I will say I'm enjoying it enough that I want to keep playing and finish it. So that's the biggest compliment I could give it, is like, hey, here's a genre I don't really like, which is platformers, but the game is so good I want to keep playing it.
Well, you die, you lose your currency / souls or whatever, like, and you go back to a bonfire, and then you gotta get them back. Like,
and see, this is the conversation we were having in the Discord. It was just like, if you say Souls-like to me, I'm not just thinking of that system of, oh, you die, you got to go back and blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking combat. I don't know. Like,
yeah, you're thinking like third person locked on, light, heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Parry, block, dodge roll. Yeah,
that's what I think of when I think of Souls-like. I don't, not the whole oh, you got to go back and get your souls and blah, blah, blah. So for someone to this, I would not describe this game as a Souls-like.
It's like a Souls game. It's Souls-like.
But it's not. It's like that's such a minor mechanic in a Souls game.
I'm Jewish, just ish. I think that game gets better as it goes. I would say the same thing about Silksong, like, because you get a double jump and you get like a super sprint dash thing, and you get like more way stations to travel, and like it really like opens up, and some of the areas on the fringes are really cool, like the Pink Crystal Palace and some of the underground stuff. Like, aesthetically, it's just interesting to kind of keep finding new areas in that original game. I would say I think Hollow Knight is, for me, like a 10 out of 10. I think Silksong is a 9 out of 10. It's really good. It's not quite more of the same. It's got some interesting, fun wrinkles, but it is a lot harder. Some of those boss fights are brutal. Like, they're just straight up like difficulty choke points. Like, it'll test you.
Did you beat it?
Oh no, God no! I would say I'm like more.
You've
than
been playing it a lot.
I
I've seen you online a lot, so I kind of figured by the end of this weekend you might have it beat.
No, I'm like 15 hours in. I can't imagine there's like I'm more than halfway through, but like some of the traversal options, like the locomotion of like pogo hopping and like sprinting, and like some of like the cool things that she gets to do. Hornet is really, really nice. Some of these areas are like really gorgeous. Like, there's like a whole clockwork robotic bug section, and there's a lot of like fun moments where like bosses will sort of like appear in like a village, and like the townspeople will like run away into their little homes. You have to fight it so you can like sit at the bench, and there's all sorts of like great wrinkles and stuff. But it doesn't quite have the magic of like discovering that first game. It's just like a hair underneath the original. It's like, I don't want to say I've played it before, because it's still really good, but it is like a Blasphemous 2 to Blasphemous 1, or like another Castlevania, where you're like, all right, they use the same formula, and it still works, but it's not like my hair's on fire because I'm like discovering Symphony of the Night for the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and the comparison I'm trying to make is like playing Metroid Fusion versus playing Super Metroid versus playing Metroid
Zero
Dread.
Mission.
Like, I love all of those games, and is it ever going to be as magical as the first time I played them? Probably not, but like, that's okay. Like, I don't need it to be. I just need more. Give me more slop. Like, I love it. Like, it's.
Oh, I wouldn't call this slop.
No,
I think I would direct people to play the first Hollow Knight over Silksong, because Silksong.
I would tell people.
Great.
I think based off of, and obviously I haven't played Silksong, but I watched a little bit. Again, shout out to Kind of Funny, Andy Cortez, who I ran into at PAX, and that was the most awesome thing ever.
Yeah.
But he was playing it, and I was like, oh yeah, no, this game looks good. It does look like combat is more interesting than it was in
it's got some cool
Hollow
wrinkles.
Knight, which is what, for me, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm excited about that. So, but yeah, no, I don't see it and think, oh, I need to just stop playing regular Hollow Knight and jump to Silksong. I'm A-okay with like, okay, let me take my time, play through Hollow Knight, and then get to Silksong. Oh, can I have one? Can I just say one complaint about Hollow Knight that drives
absolutely.
me nuts? I really like how they approach the map system, where it's not just going to fill it in for you. You have to like find the map person and then sit at a bench, and then it'll fill in all the places you got, because it's like you sitting down, writing down. I like that. The thing I do not like is the fact that I have to put on a freaking pin just so I can see where I am at the map. That drives me insane. I cannot stand it, because I was like, okay, I don't want this to use a slot, so let me try not doing it. Got lost immediately. I was like, I have no idea what room I'm in. I can't do this.
So I think I like the badge system in the first game more than what they do in the second game, because there's less flexibility for those pins. Because there's a more emphasis on like different fighting styles, so it's like different types of swipes, different speeds of your swipes.
See, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want
in your arsenal. But there's fewer spots for your pins, and guess what? You still have to fucking do is put on a pin to see where you are on the map, which is like a must.
Oh, I was really hoping.
This is the most Doom 3 duct tape the light to the gun. Like, don't make me hold the flashlight and then switch to a gun.
Wow, what a reference. What a reference.
just put my fucking face moving on the map so I don't have to fucking put the pin there.
I'm just going to buy it on Steam, and then hopefully someone made a mod. Because, like, it's so frustrating. Like why? Yeah. Like, it's, like, I get it.
It's so dumb.
That is, like, okay, that is, you know what? That's where you could say it's like a Souls-like, where we're just going to make this annoying for the sake of it annoying the player. Because Souls games will do that. Hashtag Poison Swamps all day.
There's now two currencies. So there's like the sort of like bone shards that like pop out of most common enemies, and then there's the actual currency you're looking for, which are rosary beads, and that's what you like buy stuff with. So there's like two currencies, and the more common one you find is for your sort of like Castlevania side tools. So instead of it being like holy water or like a cross or whatever or a boomerang, it's like, oh, actually, one of them is a boomerang. It's like little like throwable side weapons, or like traps and throwing knives and poison and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I would say it's like less emphasis on exploration, more on combat, more on like traversal and like sort of tying traversal together. But there's still, you have to explore, and there's some platforming, but man, some of those boss fights are insane. Like I'll sit there the whole day and just be like, do I have to like go back and like buy more stuff to like kill this boss? Like, what am I doing wrong?
See,
and then you smash your head against the wall and you beat it.
I want to believe you, but I remember when Metroid Dread came out, you were telling me about how hard the final boss was, and I like beat it in 2 tries, and I'm like, wait, this is the boss that everyone said was ridiculously hard? It wasn't that hard.
Maybe you're godlike. I don't know.
No, I mean, you should see me play a Souls game, and it looks rough, but I enjoy it. But no, I mean, I'll see. I'll let you know when I get there. So far in Hollow Knight, there's been tough. I say the hardest boss I've fought so far was the 3 Mantis people, and that was mainly because I had to learn their attack pattern. As soon as I learned their attack pattern, I was like, okay, jump here, attack, jump, and then just play patient. You just have to be patient. Yeah. And just like, okay, maybe there are more comparisons to a Souls-like than I'd like to admit, because I was literally just going to say, oh, just play it patient like a Souls. Crap.
There's definitely things like that in this game where it's like, they're like 2 dancers, and it's like they'll choreograph their moves, and in their final phase, it's like they'll like kind of go independent of each other, which is very much like that 3 Mantis fight where it's like they'll throw the thing, or they'll do their horizontal dash, and it's like, okay, I'm like learning. And then there's some fights in Silksong where I'm like, fuck you, whoever fucking designed this, and the fuking run back from the bonfire. Like, Jesus
I did hear
Christ.
the run backs were pretty bad.
Some of them are awful. Yeah. Some of them are just straight up.
I'm a firm believer that there just doesn't need to be a run back. I think Elden Ring really showed everyone that like, hey, it's okay to just put the damn bonfire right before the boss. Yeah. It is A-okay. It's like, you don't have to prove anything to anyone.
And you can tell that Team Cherry intentionally designed there's a system in this game to spend 80 rosary beads you spend them to get them turned into a necklace or a bracelet, but they give you less when you pop them. So it's like putting your souls into I'll save them for later. They want you to save them for later because they don't want you to lose them when you keep fucking dying on these dumb runbacks.
Wait, what game did that? Was it Lies of P, where you could like buy, if you could like store your souls by like buying these things?
Maybe Sekiro?
Sekiro. It was Sekiro.
Yeah. This does something similar where it's like you're losing 20, but you're saving them for like when you get to a merchant because they know that you're going to complain.
I think that's a good idea. I don't like the run back part. I just don't think
not put long run backs in your games. There you go. We did a podcast. We did it. Yay. You can't find Darren's work on the internet because he is not a content creator. But thank you for joining us anyways.
It was my pleasure as always. Anytime I get to come on here and tell you your opinions are bad, that's my favorite thing.
No, the honor and the privilege is mine. You can follow our work on videogame.town. We're on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, Ko-fi. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm also on the other website. But I basically post the same things in both places. So if you just want to follow me on Blue Sky, that's fine, because you're not really missing anything except for me ranting about the Jets!
Oh, don't. Don't.
But Grant's Eagles are 1-0. Go Birds. I like that I'm just attributing the Eagles to him as if he like gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be back next week. So thanks for checking us out and tuning in. Go to our Patreon, give us money, and watch our streams. We streamed some Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, and me and Jack are going to be playing a lot of Borderlands 4. So I think some of that might be up by the time you're listening to this. So thank you, Darren, and adios, everyone.
Later.